at least since V25 has come out, like I feel like AA's always had the inside info on the logic and the routing and the way items are placed and stuff. So I think it's really cool that TGH has learned so much from AA, and now it's like the student versus the teacher. Like he has to like put all the info that AA gave him and use it to actually beat AA. So I think that's pretty cool.
I actually missed what was in both of those chests, so I hope it wasn't anything important.
I'm gonna go with nothing useful.
Right.
Ooh, great tier 1 tree pull there, and AA is gonna get his in just a second here.
Yeah, man. I see. If I get bombs right away in this version and just a regular open mode seed, I'm not gonna check any more pulls. There's very little chance you're gonna be farming for Zora or anything like that. So you get those bombs, I'm good. But map and rupees. Well, it wasn't rupees because TGH only had 1 rupee, so it could have been single rupee.
Yeah, both players are gonna high five each other in Lost Woods in just a second here. So we're gonna have pretty similar opening routes going into the start of this race. Usually TGH likes to do the south route and farm bombs in front of the Haunted Grove, but because he got double tree pull there, he's gonna go ahead and just follow AA shoot tracks here.
Yeah. What's funny is I bet that TGH skips both those items that AA just picked up, the full heart container and the arrow upgrade. It's not that AA wants to pick up the arrow upgrade, he just doesn't think it's worth the time to sit there and contemplate whether you want the item when you fall down. You know,
you have to have
split second.
Yeah, pretty fast reflexes if you're like actively trying to avoid it. Because
Right.
you have to actively avoid it. You can't just hold like down left, you'll still pick it up. You have to hold like left and then down and then like register in that time. So it's
and
very
then
minor time save.
And then it if any time save you have might be over it, and if you realize, oh, I do want that, and then you have to walk back to it. And so yeah, this is a matter of seconds. But the little things that the runners might think about.
Yeah, I'd like to think a lot of people, especially when they're newer to the randomizer, overlook like how many frames they throw away on every screen by like running into corners and like getting hit by enemies and just doing general stuff that's not like optimized. So I think that's where a lot of the higher execution runners like TGH and ACMLM like make up a lot of their time. It's just in those little frame saves here and there.
So we've seen a good dozen locations or so far, and no progression. Most interesting thing was probably the 300 rupees. Be put to use pretty quick here at the bottle vendor.
Nice plastic shield for AA.
I guess that's some sort of progression.
Oh, there's progression.
Nice, yeah. Flute only opens up 1 spot by itself, but it's also, of course, a useful travel tool. Man, so we got here, he's already paid the bottle vendor, and he still got almost 600 rupees. Oh, were you gonna sing?
Me, not at all.
Oh, all right. Looks like no singing here tonight, folks.
I'm not a show tunes type of guy, unfortunately. But you guys will get the actual duck song in just a second here when TGH activates his duck. I don't want to disrespect the national anthem of Hyrule, you know.
This has been pretty underwhelming. There's gotta be something either at the south coast or this Escape or maybe in Eastern or Sastrola.
Hopefully the players give us a map check soon and we'll be able to see if there's
Oh, I know that AA will actively avoid checking the map until it's relevant.
That seems to be the norm nowadays. I feel like
in
the last tournament, players would like
bow in the library.
That could mean early boots. It could mean bow's the last item you get this race too. We'll have to see.
All right, just 20 bucks at the race game. So AA is gonna flute to the dam. Yeah, boots are 100% required this seed. They could be in GT for all we know at this point, but they're definitely required. That would be an amazing seed.
The forced GT double dip. I think both these players would 100% the game. Looking for the boots. Even if Pod and Eastern were pendants.
Yeah, I don't know. We did get our first bottle there from the chest inside the dam, so that's interesting. Because now they can go and visit the sick kid, and you could certainly have something.
I know you're a little bit more familiar with AA's routing than I am. Does he ever like gamble like the isolated locations like Ice Rod Cave or Gina or anything like that, or does he just like full clear to the best of his capabilities?
Not generally, and I think especially with the lack of progression here so far, that he's probably going to be checking everything. I could imagine him delaying certain spots a lot if there's a lot of things that show up early. Silver arrows are pretty nice. Mirror's pretty nice. Fire rod, oh my goodness.
Is this the actual hype cave?
Yeah.
That was hype.
That was pretty sweet right there. Okay, so AA is going to save and quit, and what's he going to do now? Oh, he hasn't actually checked the house chest yet.
Okay, I was a little puzzled by that saving call. I was like, you have a flute, just go outside. But
yeah,
if
he's definitely the fastest way to get there.
That makes much more sense now.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's like the seed is pulling them into the Hera basement.
Ooh, yeah.
They've got the flute and the mirror and the fire rod. That's everything you need just for that one specific location. So
for me, usually when I see that combination of items early, I expect to come across a pair of gloves really soon and to have to dip into desert through the mire access. Like usually that's what I see when you get the mirror and the flute really early. You have to like go the convoluted way around to checkerboard or to desert to find your pearl or your hammer or something.
Yeah, so we're seeing AA is gonna do some escape with bombs and fire rod, it looks like here.
Shouldn't have too much of a problem.
No, it's not that it's a problem. It's just he doesn't have enough magic to use only fire rod, and bombs escape is a bit slow. So unless he gets some magic drops from the enemies, but he's not going to. So maybe he'll steal the key. You know what? I bet we're going to see him use the mirror here and steal the key. Let's see. Oh, nope. All right. I thought he might do it. So if you take that key from the first guard and don't use it on that door and instead use it to go to the back of escape, then you're guaranteed to be able to check all the chests in escape in open mode, because there will be a key somewhere between that first chest and the chest in the back of escape, so you'll be able to cover everything. But
the drawback to that Game Boy is that you have to walk
it's
once again to the basement area.
It's more walking for sure, but did you see what he just got there? That was the hook shot, so that's pretty significant.
That's going to gain him a little bit of time on TGH, because TGH will have to come back to Death Mountain to check East Death Mountain, whereas
but he's got the old man warp now at least, because he returned him, so...
Hey man, these guys had a race that was less than 40 seconds apart. Anything, any little time save can be the difference at the end.
Yeah, the first 2 races between these guys were pretty great, and I would really recommend
Oh my God.
watch them. And the hammer. Man, that was really unexpected because they've already got the hook shot and the mirror, but you know, whatever. That is a lot of value in escape there. My goodness. Now TGH is gonna have to use bombs to hit these warps here, or not the warps, but the crystal switches.
So Hera's definitely a crystal due to the music.
There's our first glove. Sorry.
No, it's a very exciting item to find for sure. The unfortunate thing for TGH is he doesn't have a way to hurt Moldworm, so he will actually definitely have to double dip Hera for sure. Unless there's a sword in this.
No, well, could be a sword upstairs, I guess. Well, why didn't he do the tile room right away? That doesn't make any sense. Because he knows he has to, right?
I guess he doesn't want to climb the tower twice, but I mean, getting the big key is... you have to go back there anyway, so why... Yeah, I agree with you.
He's already in the back of the room. There was no reason not to do the tile room right away.
Yeah, for sure.
Pick up the magic pot, and then you light the switches, and you get your big key. So, and then you can exit out if you want. But,
yeah, there's a big magic refill in the torch room itself, so magic was not the issue. And TGH definitely knows that pot is there, so...
Right, without question.
I definitely think it was a little bit of a misplay. He's out of bombs now as well, so he's going to have to go either get a treat bowl or buy bombs in a second.
Man, being out of bombs absolutely killed him in the last race because it resulted in him not going to Zora early, basically, because he did all the Flipper's stuff except for Zora, and ended up putting off Zora for a long time, and Zora had the bow, I believe.
That was the second race, yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a sick kid check here.
Oh, the first sword at the sick kid! Wow.
He's kicking himself for not going there before going to Hera, because he had the bottle from the dam, so he could have made just one trip up the mountain there. But he's gonna go back anyway in a second after he does escape.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like the sword is a huge deal to have in Hera, though, when you've got the hammer. The hammer is a more than capable weapon.
Yeah, for sure. He's missing the switch there, unfortunately, losing some time here in an auto-scrolling room.
Yeah. Man, he's got the fairy here, otherwise I'd almost want to take a death warp with the 2 hearts. But at least he's not in danger of a game over, I guess. Just wouldn't be a good use of a fairy to use it in Hera.
So TGH checking the wrong half of escape, but it is new information for us. So we'll get to see what is in here.
We're guaranteed to see at least one of we already saw the map, so maybe the key's in the middle.
And
nope, there's the key. Alright.
So there is something in the dark chest.
Yep.
Whether he decides to get that. Looks like he's going to the front now.
Pearl can't be on graveyard ledge. There's no way you can get to that without major glitches.
Yeah, I think the remaining places that we can see the Pearl are here in Hera, East Death Mountain, Agina's Cave, and Eastern Palace.
Well, once we get the mids, then it can be at Checkerboard or in Desert, so...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And there it is, almost vanilla. Same room as vanilla.
Yeah, that was the second item in Hera. Pretty solid value in Hera there. We got gloves and Moon Pearl. So, yeah, AA is going to move on. He did hit this switch, so he's got these hearts available to him. Can't blame him for grabbing some of those before heading up to Moldorm. But, yeah, he's got it. Moldorm's only vulnerable to sword or hammer. I would choose the hammer over the fighter sword any day. You only have to hit Moldorm 3 times and you won't go to the fast phase. But, of course, you got to deal with the ugly hammer hitbox.
For sure, for sure. Moldorm trolling a little bit, but AA is just being patient. And he got it.
So he'd do it. Alright, so AA is going to get his first crystal. TGH might be a little annoyed to see that hook shot, having already been on Death Mountain, but Not as annoyed as he'll be when he sees the hammer down here. Yeah, that's a really quick first crystal for sure. Because a lot of the beginning of this game is just doing exploration and getting the items you need to complete things.
AA does have Dark World access now, but I think he's gonna do the rest of Death Mountain while he's here first. There's no reason not to, really.
Yeah, a mitt up here would be huge.
The Samaria cane on the island.
Wow, yeah.
Is this a jet seed?
Yeah, we already know where the bow is. We just had to find those boots. That's really the biggest thing we're missing now. The boots and the mitts.
For our tracker, AmazingAmpharos does have the crystal from Tower of Hera. It's the only location we know whether it's a crystal or pendant at the moment, I believe.
Yeah, we knew it was a crystal from the music once we were in there, and then of course the crystal dropped. So that's always good confirmation. It wasn't a red crystal, right? So, oh god, that was a little scary.
Nothing in the dark chest in escape.
Yeah,
just
a piece.
No, it is not a Fat Fairy crystal. He doesn't have a red crystal in his inventory. So... TGH probably going to check East Death Mountain first and then finish with Hera at the top. See what AmazingAmpharos finds. Nothing. Full heart. 20 rupees. I think he's tired of seeing rupees at this point.
Yeah, you can't be surprised if there's no progression here because we've already seen so much. So next maybe we'll get a hyper cave check, I'm guessing. So, to see what's down there. Oh, AA does not have his sword yet. He's gonna have to go to the sick kid to get that.
He does have the mirror, so I'm sure whenever he gets into Village of Outcast, he'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, well...
If he doesn't just straight up go there first, before going to Outcast.
Right, because it might make more sense to flute into the village and then use the top ward.
Oh, I missed that map there, but I saw Skullwoods was red pendant.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully our tracker can pause the stream and take a look at it. Quake medallion and some blue mail. That's not bad.
I always liked seeing like blue mail and sword upgrades and stuff when I'm against people like TGH, ACM, Andy, because you know you don't want to get forced into like those low heart, low mail like bosses later into the game.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
You know, because they might be able to edge those out, and then if you take a death, you know, it's a couple minutes lost. So it's always good. I'm sure AA is happy to see a blue mail there.
Yeah, I doubt that we would hear any complaints from him on that front. You've already got the mirror too, and a fairy in a bottle. Like death warps aren't going to be happening this seed, so.
Yeah, that's the only real drawback to having an upgraded mail. So nothing so far for AmazingAmpharos. It's just the Quake and the blue mail.
Thieves Town and Skullwoods are fully completable to him. So looks like Thieves Town is crystal, but Skullwoods is a pendant. So I'm guessing we'll see him do Thieves Town right away, but he might pop into Skullwoods and check to see what's there.
That Quake medallion might not be relevant since both the dungeons that require medallions are pendants. We'll have to see.
Yeah, goodness, that's quite something. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the boots are in Turtle Rock.
Actually, I wonder if one of our players will make that kind of gamble early on, because the mitts is the only thing preventing you from accessing the cane right now. So if Turtle Rock has Quake, you know, and you get the mitts.
Yeah, Turtle Rock is wide open other than Trinex, so wants to get those mitts.
Yeah, that's potentially 5 or 6 items for them between the dungeon itself and the Mimic Cave, so I wonder if one of them will make that play. TGH finds his Moon Pearl. He's about to go up and fight Moldorm for his first crystal.
AA is getting his sword, and I imagine we'll see him head right into the Dark World here.
That's always nice, because you don't want to do... Like, you can do blind with the Cane of Samaria or with the hammer or something like that, but you really don't want to.
Yeah.
You'd rather just have your sword and take the easy blind fight.
Hammer blind is terrible. Samaria blind is okay. Birna blind is fantastic.
Yeah. That's the best optional item blind, for sure.
Yeah. But the sword makes blind easy. Pretty trivial, for sure. Usually. Especially if you've got 11 hearts already. My goodness. I don't think this is going to be a no cane until GTC, not when they know where it is.
These always make for the most interesting seeds when you can see items that may or may not be required, so you don't know if you should go get them or if you.
Yeah, that cane is both it's both could be required and it's a little time saver in a few spots too. So, you know, I don't think that
doing wizards in GT without the cane is so annoying.
Yeah. It's a
so nice
interesting route by AA.
Maybe he just really didn't want to deal with the ghosts. I don't believe it is.
It doesn't. It didn't. I don't think it's faster. I've never seen anyone go that way before. So just never. It's something I've never thought about until right now. Did AA not check the sea house yet?
I don't believe so. I think he went just. I think he's gonna check it on his way to Skull, since he already did a south route and he has to exit out the northeast anyway. Oh, there's Burnout, so that would have trivialized blind anyway.
Yep. Really and nice it still could if he gets low on health. He's in perfect shape anyway. Even if he didn't have the fairy in reserve or the blue mail to help him reduce that damage, he's got a number of safeties here. So.
Good to see if we see some divergence here from TGH.
Yeah, you'd think he'd either go to Skull or Thieves Town directly, though.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed about players that like to go really fast. They rather just go up to Skull and just check a dungeon, even if it's not a crystal, rather than cut through all the bushes on the left.
Yeah. I've definitely taken two. If I have the mitts, I'll go south right away. But if I don't, then might as well just go up to Skull and get over it. Especially if you don't have a sword. My goodness, and you gotta pick up all those bushes.
That's the word. I never go through there if I don't have a sword. I don't mind it though, if with boots, obviously, because it's so fast. But
so value woods, not with the value so far, unless people do like money these days, just not in this game.
Nothing so far in the first half of Skull, nothing so far in the first half of Thieves, except for the Cane of Brena. AmazingAmpharos making his way to the attic here to bomb the floor for blind. I don't think that's close enough. Yeah.
That's an interesting mistake by TGH.
I was like, that was blatantly not close enough. I'm not sure what he was. Maybe he was marking his track or something and wasn't paying attention.
Sure. So the Skullwoods trip here not paying off for. Oh, there are our mitts. Whew.
And their vanilla dungeon as well. So Moon Pearl and Titan's mitts in their vanilla dungeons.
I'm predicting that AA goes straight into Turtle Rock after checking Dark Death Mountain.
That's a bold prediction, and I hope he does. Because if the boots are in there, that might seal the deal for him. That's not a play I see TGH making.
Uh-oh. Okay. Just a little hiccup there. Alright, we're all good.
At least logically, right now, he doesn't have access to Ice Palace or Swamp. He might have access to Misery Mire, but that's a pendant as well. So if you had to choose between Pendant Mire and Pendant Turtle Rock, you'd probably pick Pendant Turtle Rock.
Yeah, but especially if you get up to Turtle Rock and it's a Master Sword. Thieves Town with a little bit of action here in the later half of it. But if you get up to Turtle Rock and it's Quake, that's almost a sign that you have to go in, I think. Because if the medallion is needed, it has to be placed somewhere where you can get it. If it's not needed, it could be anywhere, you know. So it could be just a coincidence that you have that medallion, but I would be very suspicious.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, did they give it to me for a reason? Did they give it to me for? Like, you got to try to read the logic, and guessing wrong there could cost you a few minutes.
So TGH is full clearing this Pendant Skullwoods just for one item here. That's a bit of a risk on his end as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think he cleared the front half, you know, saying like, I'm gonna just check this quickly, and then after investing so much time and not getting any items, I believe he still has his fairy in a bottle.
Yep.
No panic here.
But he doesn't have it anymore. If he wanted it.
Nice
And a lamp at blind. Nice.
Oh, Thieves Town with about...
Why does blind need that lamp anyway? Come on.
3 progression items with Thieves Town is really nice. Especially a Crystal Thieves Town that you know you're going to clear anyway. So it's always nice to put that time in and be rewarded for it. TGH is getting nothing but half magic for his troubles.
Now is AA going to go up to Skullwoods?
He's checking his map again. I wonder if he thought Skull was a crystal when he went in.
What did Mothula drop?
Half magic.
Half magic. Oh, nice. Yes. Maybe that's something we'll never see AA get, I guess. I don't know. I've seen him skip Skullwoods before, and that's quite a commitment just for those 2 items. That second item in particular.
Yeah, I'm just curious because different players do different things for different reasons. Some people like to do Skullwoods just because it's quick, it's easy to check. Like if you think like Evil Ash, Christos, them, they go into Dark World, they just check Skullwoods, regardless of whether it's Pendant or Crystal, just to get it out of the way. Some people check it if they have the Fire Rod. That happened in the Standard Weekly today. A lot of people had the Fire Rod going into Dark World, decided to go to Green Pendant Mothula, and they got Bombos Medallion out of it, which was required. And then some people, like you said, are willing to just completely skip Skullwoods every time. So the reason I'm bringing this up is if the Fire Rod is the reason that you check Skullwoods, I think you should generally do it from back to front, because the front half of it is not locked by the Fire Rod. So if the reason you're going is because you're like, oh, they gave me the Fire Rod, something has to be here.
Oh my goodness. It's more value here. We got the flippers in the Pegs cave. But yeah, I can agree with what you're saying there. But then at the same time, the items in the front are much faster to check than the items in the back. So if you're gonna go to Skullwoods, then
is he only missing the boots now?
Could be.
Yeah, because the boots give the bow, so he doesn't need Ice Rod because TR dependent. He doesn't need to go pick up the cane, even though he knows where it is, in case it's big key and G Tower is on the right side.
So it looks like we're gonna see Swamp right away here. And then, yeah,
This is
Swamp and
really
then,
fast seed if they find Boots soon.
yeah. I'm just thinking. I'm trying to anticipate what seems likely. Is he maybe gonna do Ice first after Swamp? Probably.
Yeah, he could definitely full clear both of those crystal dungeons. So if he just wants to get the crystals while checking items, that's a good way to go about it.
Yeah, this is a ridiculously fast seed for sure. Unless you know this can still turn bad because we don't know where those boots are.
Yeah.
But man, like I said, I'm really suspicious of the Dark Death Mountain and Turtle Rock area there.
I'm almost like concerned for the runners because if they get the flippers, they get the mitts, they get a medallion, they get all this stuff, they can literally check anywhere. The boots could be anywhere. This seed could very quickly be go from a hour 5 seed to an hour 45 seed, depending on the order in which the runners check everything.
Yeah.
So
you'd have to think that AA is gonna skip the left side here, right? You can't. If you've got the whole world to clear just for the boots, you can't be checking every single spot.
That's a call I wouldn't even be able to make in this situation. So many races this tournament have been decided by left side Swamp that to put yourself in that situation on purpose is just like, oh my gosh.
Including one in this series where the flute was on the left side of Swamp.
For sure. For the TGH fans in the chat, you're gonna have to hope boots are not in Swamp.
Well,
so
yeah, of course.
TGH. Because if he is just following in AA's footsteps from this point on, he is substantially a few minutes behind. So he needs the boots to not be in AA's path, and he needs to take a different path. Though, of course, he doesn't know what AA's path is, so he's just gonna have to...
I don't know if AA is even sure of his path at this point.
I'm surprised AA went to Swamp, because he's the one that, told us, me and TGH being us, that, generally, if the game opens up multiple dungeons for you at the same time, you should go to the one that's a later crystal and vanilla.
Swamp generally doesn't seem to have as much value in this version. I think half the reason that he went there was just because he was right there.
That could be true too, yeah.
So
he might also, have been studying their races beforehand and been like, TGH likes to put off Swamp, so if I go in there early and I find a value, that can give me a substantial lead.
He's skipping left side, and he got the map there, so he knows that there's an item on the left side, and he's still skipping it. So he might come back in and do it later, but the thought is that there are more items in the basement than there are up here, and if you find the boots, that's it. So you don't want to end up doing the left side if the boots are in the basement somewhere.
TGH with an amazingly fast blind fight. He didn't even touch the sunlight in the third cycle. He just died all the way on the left. That's how fast it was. So, very nice fight by him.
I imagine we're probably going to see TGH do the Smithy sequence as well here.
Yeah, for sure. He also has all of South Dark World to do, because that was AmazingAmpharos that did it. So he'll probably just take the purple chest on a nice little journey.
Right.
While he clears up Hype Cave and everything.
Alright, so we've seen the map and the compass, which means there are 2 items on the left side of Swamp.
And he already opened the big chest, so if he decides to come back in, it's for those 2 items and only those 2 items. So we'll see if he makes that wager after Argus here.
I feel like he's going to be too pulled in by 2 items to skip that.
got some little ding game music here.
Of course, we know it's going to be going on for a while.
What's your favorite way to fight Argus when you have the Master Sword? Do you just do the double slashes? Do you do the spins? Do you pull two? Do you use the hammer?
Double slash. Yeah. I just double slash. I don't think the other strats are clearly better enough to worry about. So
yeah.
You gotta take time to charge those spins or whatever. Oh, TGH almost forgot that he had the mirror there. That would have potentially been bad for him because he might not have gotten those flippers right here. But you know what's interesting?
He's not going back. He's skipping left side.
Oh, okay.
What else
I was going to say, though, is that AA might have decided to do the hammer pegs specifically because he did not have the boots. And, you know, a lot of people like to put off the peg cave there until you can do the hammer dash.
Hey, checking all the flipper lock locations here.
Yeah, why did he go back in the warp? Why didn't you just jump off the island and then swim to...
I actually thought he was gonna go like north towards Pyramid. That was my assumption, but I guess he just forgot.
You know, I don't think he was ever planning on doing that. I think he wanted to get that one out of the way check-in, but yeah, it doesn't really make sense to do much overworld before the required dungeons at this point, I don't think. So, man, I really want to see the play up to Dark Death Mountain after Ice. But maybe a desert check.
I think there's a couple of checks that you could do right now that will give you a lot of items. You can do the Mire area plus desert. That's the 5 items total. I don't think they've checked the ledge or Aginas actually, so it's 7 items total.
Yeah, the thing about the Dark Death Mountain though is that it's so much faster than the item count rate that you'll get at.
Well, I mean, if you factor in like climbing up all the way to the top of Death Mountain and then going into the Dark World, it's not that much faster compared to Desert. And then there's also Pod and Eastern. Eastern is never bow locked for the first 2 items. And I know AA doesn't like Eastern at all without the bow.
Yeah.
So.
Right. I don't expect AA to be looking for the boots in Pod and Eastern. He's going to want to be able to do a single dip over there if he can.
Yeah. There was definitely a couple of tournament races in the group stages decided because the bow was in Pod and like whoever went there first. So in this case, it wouldn't be the bow because we know where the bow is, but if the boots are in Pod.
Yeah, Elminster pretty much won or lost all of his races because of the bow being in or not in Pod.
Bible thumbs for Elminster. Looks like TGH is going to follow in AA's footsteps here. Which, as we know, is not going to result in anything.
Well, if he does the left side, and that's where the boots are, then it's game over.
Ooh, yes, that completely forgot that AA hit completely skipped that. And there's no way TGH skips it, right? Not after last race. With the flute there.
I don't know. You can't. You can't let yourself be swayed by your past results. You know, if you think something is a good move, you gotta do it. You gotta stick with it.
I completely agree that you can't, but we are also all human, and sometimes it does stick with you to a point where you just do stuff that you normally wouldn't do because of what just happened to you. Like you start thinking about the post game, like, oh my god, am I really gonna lose 2 games this set because of left side swamp?
Yeah. I did ask him if he regretted that or something. He did say he didn't, so yeah, it's true. If he didn't regret his decisions, just got unlucky. So let's see. Maybe TGH follows AA's route exactly here. We'll find out. Oh man, single rupee, all the value in ice.
I know he does like to go straight to the back, like regardless of what's left, and then decide after the dungeon. But I think he's gonna go back after seeing the 2 items.
Yeah, by the time I saw the big key and the map in the first 3 chests or whatever, I would have been swayed to go to the left side right away.
These are like interesting decisions to me because Ice and Swamp are like the 2 dungeons that you gain the most time by go moding.
Red mail.
Hey, it's gonna go for this bomb jump here to check the double jelly chest. Gets it, nice.
Yeah, so we must have 1 item left in ice. We saw the single rupee and a red mail so far. TGH is going to the back. Let's see if he makes the same call once he gets the compass, if he's gonna skip those 2 items left in Swamp. Probably. With all the locations that they have left to search just for 1 item, probably. But I feel like I'm feeling pretty confident that AA is gonna go into Turtle Rock. After this, he's gonna go to Dark Death Mountain, then Turtle Rock. But I guess the Mire area check is good too. You can see what medallion is at Mire. Just confirm if desert is Boots blocked. Boots could be in desert, of course.
Did AA find 2 items already or 3? I think he's only at 2, right? Does Coldster have an item? I don't remember. I know I saw the red mail, and there was something in the big chest.
No one has the cane yet. It's on the floating island in Death Mountain, so it's just a matter of going up there and getting it.
Hey, getting a nice couple of doubles.
Yeah,
there.
that was really nice.
He's not too worried because he has the red mail now. So
he's got the red mail, he's got fairy in a bottle, he's got 12 hearts, and he's making really quick work of Cold Stare here as far as, you know, hammer fights go. Nice 2 cycle by TGH. And simultaneous crystal gets nice. Yeah, boots are definitely required. We don't know how required they are, but they are definitely required at some level.
Yeah, at least once. Could be required 2 times or 3 times depending on Desert Palace and Games
A
Tower.
is going to do the waterfall and Zora right away.
That's not a bad play.
No. This is certainly the most logical time to do it.
For sure. TGH going back into Swamp, so we're going to see if the boots are on the left side.
That's an interesting play. You have to wonder if that's eating at him the last race, if that's in the back of his mind.
And
Bombos, wow, that could be important.
I think he's going to Dark World Death Mountain now, and I think if he sees Bombos, he's going in no matter what. I think he's going in no matter what, actually.
Well,
if he sees Bombos Earthquake.
Yeah.
Unless he can't, agreed.
Shut up. So get out of here with your troll.
He's giving AA some homework. He's like, here, I want you to go over here. I want you to do some research. Come back with paper. It's due on Monday. We're in finals week.
What is AA doing? Why are you walking out of here? There's no way that walking out of here is faster than saving to somewhere and then floating, right?
No, it is not. If he had boots, yes, but not like this. No, not at all.
Is he gonna go do the shovel right away? No, he's going to Death Mountain.
He's gonna save Grandpa first.
Yeah. Oh,
TGH already saved him, so...
That's why, one of the reasons why he did that, I suppose, is because he didn't have the save warp available to the Death Mountain. Otherwise, he probably would have saved and quit right up there.
First item is junk. Second item is... Oh no. So A with a nice 2-minute save there.
Yeah.
On TGH, if he doesn't go back for that, that's pretty big.
It was the right color, at least.
So close.
Where is TGH heading? Up to the pyramid and catfish, perhaps?
He's never did Hype Cave, I don't believe.
He never did Hype Cave before Swamp. That's
because he was coming down with the purple chest, so he just
stopped
turned it in and
Swamp
stopped
there,
at Swamp. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to go. It's so quick to check these 5 items, and if you get boots there, then it's over. So you don't have to check a single thing in Swamp if you don't want to. TJ's got his Quake there. I still don't like using the warp at the bottom if you are planning on trying to open up Turtle Rock. I don't know if it's right or not, but it feels not right to me.
It's actually always faster to take the top warp, no matter what you're doing on Dark World of Lifetime. It's just like numerically faster. The only reason you would do the bottom warp is if you're like low on hearts and don't want to risk like dealing with dead rocks and stuff.
Or maybe if you're doing the double light and dark mountain check together.
Oh yeah, that way too. Yes, of course. Mire was Bombos, so that Bombos could be required if the boots are in Mire. They do have the hook shot to go in.
Interesting.
TGH.
And TGH, who knows when he's gonna go to Zora?
AmazingAmpharos found tempered in Super Bunny Cave.
Yeah, he did. I was gonna mention that. That's big too, because that makes the oh, now we got all of the dot. Well, it doesn't really matter what it is. We're going in. Oh, TGH is getting in a desert check here. Going straight to the torch, and it's a small key. So, desert is technically locked by the boots, but that doesn't mean anything for us because... Oh, right, it's fully locked by the boots.
Yeah, you could technically take the key from the back and use it to open the front and check for the items, but it cannot be the boots.
Yeah, so there's no point in doing it.
Yeah. So he's gonna check Checkerboard Cave here, and then Agina's Cave, and then we'll see what he decides to do from there. AA is definitely going into Turtle Rock, as you predicted. He just stuck in some flipper checks right beforehand, but still following the game plan, as called by Jay Cooper.
Because he'll tell you that the Turtle Rock is the dungeon that is most likely to have the boots.
I mean, statistically, one of the dungeons most likely to have any progression. I think it's like Eastern, then Thieves, then Turtle Rock. As far as like the percentage of items placed. Nothing in the desert/Mire area at all for TGH. He couldn't check Mire because he doesn't have bombos from the Zora Ledge.
Right.
So it looks like he might...
Is TGH heading up here?
Wait, was it bombos to open? Oh my god, I wasn't paying attention.
What was the... Oh, it was bombos. It was bombos for both. Oh, that's huge for AA. Because it seems pretty likely that the boots are going to be in one of Mire or Turtle Rock, and TGH doesn't know where bombos is yet.
So this might lead TGH to do.
I think he'd go to ice first.
Yeah, I think he does ice before anything else, but he might do like pod or eastern instead of climbing Death Mountain again.
Yeah, definitely.
So if the boots are in Turtle Rock, he's in trouble.
Yeah, or if they're in Mire, even AA is probably going to get to Mire before TGH would get there. But if the boots are in Pod or Eastern, then it's probably advantage TGH. Just from not having that bombos.
This is really up in the air right now. Even though AA does have an additional crystal, as soon as TGH finds boots, he would be able to go mode the crystal that AA has, so it's nowhere near as big of a time loss.
Right.
If the boots wind up being in TGH's path as opposed to Ampharos's.
Plus, of course, he'd have the boots, so that would just make everything that much faster. A mushroom.
That's 2 fetch quests for AA that he has to find time to do at some point.
Doesn't have to, but the game would really like him to do it.
Well, if either of them have the boots, he might have to.
Yeah.
That's always the worst feeling, full clearing like a pendant Turtle Rock or a long dungeon like that, and only having a fetch quest to show for it. You're like, this fetch quest has to give me something.
I mean, but also, you get the fetch quest in the first chest here, and then you think, oh man, maybe that's it, but you still got to go through the whole dungeon and check everything.
And gets a nice double spin on the poking. Got a little bit of lag there, so messed with him a little bit. So
yeah, that's what those bunny beams will do for you. So TGH can't go there, so he's gonna go to Spike Cave instead, I guess.
He's like pushing him.
That I know. Was that the big key in the big key chest?
I'm in this mode right now where I'm like I'm playing the scene myself. Like anything that's not the boots, I don't even realize what it is, because that's not like when you're just that one item from the go mode. Like you're just like, is this the boots? Nope, throw it out. Is this the boots? Nope, throw it out. It's like when you see the cartoons of them rummaging through the boxes and they're just chucking stuff behind them. Like that's what's happening to AA right now. He's like, is this the boots? Nope, throw it. Like,
I guess that things that would be interesting to see right now would be the ice rod, because that would open up Trinex as well, or maybe the book that opens up the tablets and of course lets us check the pedestal if we want to go that way.
Yeah, if they find the ice rod, the pedestal is completely accessible at this point, so even if they find the ice rod and no boots and no book, the boots could be there. For those of you that are just joining the chat, both players are looking for the boots because the bow is on the library, and that is the last item they both need. So TGH is going to go for the crystal play here. So he's going to full clear ice, which we already know has nothing thanks to AmazingAmpharos.
There he is. Okay. I thought for a second that bomb was gonna blow up in his hands. TGH does get to do this dungeon with Tempered, so that's a nice little time game for him.
AA just slashed at that chest a lot. I didn't exactly see what was in there, but he didn't appreciate it. AA is coming up here on the last 4 chests in the dungeon for him. One of them is guaranteed to be a small key.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the other 3 hold.
The Turtle Rock boss can have boots as long as Ice Rod is not in GT, basically. Or, you know, not blocked by the boots or the bow. Man, this is not ideal. Checking We got one shield here. Another shield would be something I'd like to see if I were in this position.
And the last chest is
A compass.
So
Nothing here.
he has the map and the compass. That means Trinex has an item. He's just gonna go outside, mirror and flute instead of.
Yeah, he's gonna have to probably go to the. I wonder if he's gonna fake powder first, but he should probably go to the potion shop and get his magic refilled. Because if he wants to go to Mire next, and I'm thinking that he would want to go to Mire next, he's not gonna fake powder. Okay, just gonna turn in the mushroom and get his stuff refilled. I hate that delay for the witch taking the mushroom from you.
Agreed. I always go for like the sword charge into the spin speed too on the steps, so it's like, take my mushroom! I'm trying to go fast. Yeah, you're gonna grab some safety potions here. TGH really likes falling in this dungeon.
He's got the fairy in the other bottle, that's right.
He fell at IPBJ like 4 times, and now he fell at the hookshot room 3 times. Or twice.
That's interesting. I certainly fall there a lot when I don't have hookshot, but
I think A will check Desert before going
probably
into Mire, but
it's a sensible check.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll do like Agina cave though. Maybe he'll skip that. Just out of the thought that you know, if the boots are there, then he's probably lost already anyway.
Yeah, and we'll see. I think it's definitely not a super slow check when you're planning on going to Mire anyway, because you can mirror in front of the cave from Dark World and then just like come back out and walk to the left to go into Mire. So it's not as big of a time loss walking out of that cave as it is in some other situations.
I can tell you what AA is not going to do here. He's not going to go into the torch and see what's there. He's just going to check this chest. There isn't much point, no.
It's one of those things, it's like...
There can be situationally. It's like, if it's a pendant desert, you can maybe steal a key if it makes sense. But if you're just looking for the boots, there's no point in checking the torch. Alright, so now we're going into Mire.
Yeah, I think that pendant mention is definitely important, because like if you have no intention of beating the dungeon, you might want to know if the second item is just on the ledge there, so you don't have to go all the way to Land Molos to be disappointed. So TGH is going to have tempered and half magic for this fight here. It's going to be a little bit faster for him than it was for AA. And by a little bit, I mean total destruction. Jesus Christ, poor cold stare.
Yeah. I'm not going to feel sorry for him. He's had his share.
He is a jerk. I'm going to agree with you there. Okay.
So is TGH going to go immediately from here to Zora?
I would think so. Like you said, when AA checked it, it's like the best time to check it is now. So, yep, there he is. I think the real question is, what does he do once he sees Bombos? Because he knows Mire and Turtle Rock are Bombos. So, does he go back up? Does he go to Mire where A is?
Either way, AA is in a little bit of a lead. It's just a question of how much.
Yeah,
because
sure.
You don't... At this point, TGH is going to get his Bombos. He knows that opens both those dungeons. He's almost certainly going to go to one of those before he goes to Potter Eastern. And that is really his biggest hope for catching up if he was to go to one of those. Well, we got our first item in Mire, and it's just a piece of heart.
I would think he goes to Mire before Turtle Rock just because of how much quicker it is to get into the dungeon itself. It is less items, but, you know, climbing Death Mountain with no boots, with dead rocks, opening Turtle Rock, like, traversing the entire dungeon, it's such a time commitment. And you still have... You still have 2 items in Mire, 2 items in Eastern.
This is the green pendant right here, too. So.
Myers? Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. We can. Vanilla boots are definitely on the table here. That's the second item. Is AA gonna mirror out? He is mirroring out. What is he gonna do from here? Man, he doesn't know how good of a play it would be to just go ahead and finish Meyer right now, I think. But we've also got that shovel to take a look at. I think that's something that I'm curious about right now.
TGH is making the pod play. This
Wow.
could be huge. This could be huge.
That's really unexpected.
He is no longer behind on crystals compared to AmazingAmpharos. So he is behind on locations checked, but if he doesn't go to Turtle Rock or Meyer, which we know don't have the boots in the chest themselves.
Yeah. So AA's hope at this point is the shovel, or if it's green pendant, if it's green pendant or pedestal, then he's got a lead on that. Oh, is
he just doing the hobo?
He might just be popping in there, or maybe he's going to pyramid and catfish. He hasn't done that, right?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, so maybe he's just doing all that overworld stuff first. Okay, so he's not going to pod. I was going to say, that would have been a surprising play. I mean, there is some logic to it, I guess. If you just get that out of the way, then... Okay, so AA is not going to check the shovel. Oh, that's going to be burning in the back of our minds for a while here.
So he is going to go to pyramid. AA to do catfish, right? Or pyramid?
I don't think so.
I don't feel like he's done much overworld. He's been all about the dungeons, just diving. So
yeah,
it's crazy when you've played so much randomizer. You've pretty much have seen the boots in every single location. So
yeah,
I know you yourself, like you have more experience than I do. I know you've seen boots at catfish. You've seen boots at pyramid. You've seen boots like you've seen Aga 1 required to pick up boots as a bunny to go to lumberjack and get your pearl.
Yeah.
It's crazy, like, where the game can place these items sometimes, so... TJ's gonna check the graveyard ledge before committing to catfish. He was gonna go up, and then he was like, you know what, never mind, I'll come here first.
Yeah, this is another spot we haven't seen yet, and I don't know if anyone's checked that, Did TGH check the Bumper Cave before? You think he would have if he had the cape the first time up there.
I want to say he did, but he forgot Kiki, eh?
Well, if this is the boots right here, and it's not. I mean, that kind of applies. The last thing I said applies to everything at this point, so...
At least he's gonna go back to catfish.
As far as what AA is doing here, at least the required, you know, you have to come in here and you have to find the big key at the minimum, right? Mm-hmm. So, even if he doesn't find the boots here, it's semi-productive.
And it's now though locked. Okay, so he can't continue through the dungeon. If there's anyone that knows like what chest is likely to have the items based on the way the keys are placed, it's AA. Like,
yeah,
she knows so much about the key logic. And catfish has.
Oh, mirror shield. That would have been nice to have a few minutes ago.
TGH saving quitting, even though he has the mirror and the flute. He must be just giving himself time to think at this point, just like what I want to do.
He's going to Turtle Rock, huh?
Is that the play? Looks like it is. Oh no, that's not good for TGH.
No, I mean, I think we would all be thinking the same thing, though, that the boots have to be in Turtle Rock, right?
I'm a huge fan of both the Eastern Palaces. So,
well, wait, he didn't go to Zora, did he?
He did. He has a shovel.
Oh, he does have the shovel. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he just didn't check that shovel yet.
Yeah. I think for TGH now, no, I don't think there's a situation here where he catches up now. Because even if it's on the pedestal, like, the Ice Rod has to be an Eastern or pod at this point, because we've seen everything else. So, like, AA will get the Ice Rod first, and then he'll finish those dungeons first, and then he'll still
if I think what would help TGH perhaps is if the boots are vanilla and he goes ahead and just full clears Mire when he gets there.
Yeah, I think that's might be his only hope at this point. Yeah, but what I was saying earlier is I don't think even at this point for TGH that Turtle Rock is necessarily the best play, because Eastern Palace is like a minimum 2 items, and like you said, Eastern Palace and Pod, you have to find the big key anyway.
Yeah.
So like, if Pod is not bow locked, you can get potentially 6 to 7 items between the 2 dungeons, and
why did AA mirror out? Oh wait. Oh, I know why he mirrored. Wait, does that make sense? Oh, okay. I know why he did, because... No, I don't think it makes sense, because a key could be in the back chest there. He should have used it to see if a key was there.
Maybe those chests can't have bow locked items.
Couldn't there...
Because there's a lot of locked doors in Pod, so like,
yeah,
at some point they have to be bow locked if there's keys on the left.
You can't reach the... I don't know. I don't know why he did it. That would be my assumption. Man, if this is vanilla boots and TGH chooses to full clear Mire right away, then it could be really close. Or if he just checks the shovel right after this, and that's where they are, that could be pretty close. Yeah.
AA will have the big key advantage going into
Pod,
dungeons,
yeah. Yeah, for sure. He that big key was buried deep in Pod, and he has the big key and the small key left, so he doesn't have to do anything in Pod once he goes back in there.
Oh, chat brings up a good point. If AA might have been assuming like that stuff couldn't have been behind those doors because they'd be bow locked, but we do have that bug in V27 where there is a potential for something to be behind those doors that you could run out of keys and it would lead to the bow. We had a tournament match. I don't believe that's been fixed yet. I haven't seen any mention of it, but because these are all from the same batch of seeds that were generated before the round.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know.
Like, this could be a soft lock seed if the boots are back there.
Yeah,
that'd be regardless of the fact that it wouldn't affect AA's decision to not check them, because even if TGH hammer jumps and gets the boots, AA can just be like, oh, then that was a soft lock seed, and then the race doesn't matter.
It's time to do some fetch quests.
Okay. So right now we have powder, shovel, and green pendant on the table.
Yep. I'm gonna do them in order from fastest to slowest, I guess.
Forced double dip Eastern. Powder for boots for bow.
I think AA might have been able to determine conclusively that the chest behind the locked door did not have a small key. I mean, like, he was probably counting keys as he went. That's the only reason he could have concluded that it's a soft lock, right? Because otherwise, it doesn't matter which door you open. You only have access to those 2 doors when you're back. 20 rupees there. Alright. Shovel time? And then back to Meyer?
The pedestal can only have the boots if our players find the ice rod. Otherwise, they can't access the pedestal because they need to be able to kill Trinex. So pedestal is not currently on the table until one of them finds ice rod.
Oh, is AA gonna go to Skullwoods? If he does, that's gonna lose a lot of his advantage here.
It looks like he's heading that way.
Yeah.
That gives TGH a few minutes to get back into this, depending on what he decides to do after Turtle Rock.
I liked how he was putting it off because you. Oh wait. Oh, he's gonna go check this northern dark world here. So he's gonna go do the bumper cave to the graveyard ledge to the catfish. Probably.
Yeah, sometimes as the commentators we forget that we have like our observer goggles and we have seen everything, but the players themselves have not seen everything. So AA is gonna have to do a little bit of cleanup before he realizes what's left.
Oh wow, blue goo up there. Hey, nice job taking care of those murder dactyls.
They murdered me on the regular, so.
Mothula had half magic. I think AA is like consciously skipping Skullwoods because he realizes that that's something that TGH has likely already done. So he knows that if he does that, that like takes away his advantage of not doing it.
For sure. And that's something a lot of the more experienced players are really good at doing, like knowing the tendencies of their opponents and you know.
Alright. So TGH is gonna head to Meyer here. Is he gonna full clear it?
He's turning in his mushroom first, which we know is nothing. Maybe he does the shovel before going to Meyer?
It seems unlikely.
Like you said, consciously ignoring Skullwoods to the best of his ability is going to go over to Catfish. I mean, this is still a bit of time investment. Like, these overworld locations are not close to each other. They don't have boots. By they, I mean the players. So, you know, it is a little bit of a trek to get around. So if boots are at Green Pendant and TGH decides to full clear, this could be huge. If Ice Rod's at Green Pendant, TGH decides to full clear. Do you just immediately go back and kill Trinex? Because you already have Green Pendant, you already have the Blue Pendant from Mothula. You just hope. I think AA is going to do the shovel now.
Let's see if he goes to his house. He went to Sanctuary. That's interesting. I don't know what that means.
The weirdest save and quit location to pick.
Has he not done the back of Escape in all this time?
I don't think so, actually, because he found so much value in the front. He just went like on his progression finding rampage and found everything else in the game except the boots.
Yeah, he's never been back here. That is pretty wild.
He's gonna get an arrow upgrade, a key, and some bombs, I think.
Yeah, and then he's gonna go and check this dark chest and get a piece of heart.
So fortunately for TGH, both the items and the big key were really early. So if he wants to go straight to Vitreous, you know, he can make that decision really quickly.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to like full clear the dungeon to do that.
Oh, nice high health boost of TGH right there. You could use that. Alright, let's see if AA goes to his house this time. Checks that shovel. Alright. Here it comes.
We're down to a 50-50 right here. These are the two locations that we have not seen between either player. Well, if TGH goes all the way to Vitreous. TGH is really low on magic. Does he have enough? I think that, yeah, he does.
Half magic.
He's gonna see a second item here.
What's he gonna do?
He's staying. Okay, so it's on AA right here.
He is. Wow.
It's the ice rod.
Oh my goodness.
It's the ice rod.
He's
It's either green pendant boots or pedestal boots.
Well, is there an item left in Turtle Rock?
Yes, there is. Or Trinix boots.
Yeah.
So Trinix, Hasarhala, or the pedestal. He's going for the Trinix play first.
Oh, man. If it's pedestal, I don't know who has the advantage here. Because TGH already has the Skullwood's done, but AA's got the big key out of Pod and Eastern, so he's got that much already cleared out.
Yeah, TGH is going to have 2 pendants to AA's 1. This is all assuming boots are not on Trinix. If boots are on Trinix, AA is still
yeah, or if they're green pendant, then TGH wins easily.
Yeah. So this is assuming boots are on pedestal. This race is ridiculously close, but we still have to see green pendant, and we still have to see Trinix. Oh my god, this is getting intense.
As we crawl towards the finish here.
Literally crawling, because no boots.
It's funny, like, it's still, they've done a lot of stuff though, and, you know, we're at 116 in. They'll still be probably finishing by 145, even if it's a boots on pedestal seed.
I was gonna yell at TGH for not using his silvers, and then I was like, wait, no, Bo. That's the whole point of all of this.
I wonder if Nobo was a slight factor in AA's decision to leave Meyer.
Alright, here we go.
Yeah, that has to be Nest check directly to Sahasra.
Unfortunately for TGH, though, he has not checked Pod or Eastern Palace, so...
You'd think he'd be doing all that together right here.
Yeah, he might not go straight to the pedestal if Sasha doesn't have this.
Yeah.
So that's...
What?
Oh,
he's doing shovel first? Oh my goodness. That's gonna be some crazy information for him to get.
Do you full hard commit at this point? You have to think, like, if boots were just in pod or in the way somewhere, you have to think your opponent was like done by now.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, but there's definitely some thought of that one.
Please check the house for help.
If this were more than a 1 versus 1 race, then yeah. So he's going to go into the Dark World, then head to Pod and Eastern. So I think this is TGH's last hope, basically.
Yeah.
I
think if
the boots are at Sahasra at the vanilla spot, then TGH wins, and if they're not, then he's done.
Yeah. Even having the 2 pendant advantage on AA, like the last pendant for AA is going to be literally next to the pedestal.
Right.
He just has to walk outside a mirror, so it's not. There's no traveling. There's nothing. You just go straight to Moth and kill him.
Hey, you've got enough health. Quit worrying about it, dude. You got the tempered sword. 10 arrows.
No.
I think that's GG, TGH fans.
It's pedestal.
He's going back to the Dark World.
Or Trinix.
Yeah.
Is there stuff AA hasn't checked at this point?
I mean, he hasn't been in Skullwoods at all.
He hasn't been in Skullwoods, and he hasn't checked Green Pendant. I think he would do Green Pendant, check Sahasrahara, and then go to Skullwoods, and then pull the pedestal. That would be the order to do it in.
Yeah, maybe.
He hasn't checked Spike Cave. He might do that after Turtle Rock.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, TGH did that, didn't he?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Does Trinix have the boots?
Left side of swamp. Oh no, AA has left side of swamp. far
He
and sweet
does!
from your, and there are the boots.
There's go mode.
Wow.
On Blue Pendant Trinex. Zora Shovel to Ice Rod to Blue Pendant Trinex. Wow. What a seed.
So the boots were in Turtle Rock all along.
I think Jacob recalled that at like 25 minutes into this race. They just walked into Dark World and barely had any progression items, didn't even have the mitts. Jay Cooper was like, I think the boots are trying to
use your boots, man. You got those things. Push the A button.
And like we said earlier, you know, those few decisions, like I would say the difference between the two players right now is the Skull Woods on the left side swamp. That's the only, like, TGH has not made any execution mistakes really. It's had faster bosses in some dungeons, but you know, when you commit to that 2.5 minutes in swamp, and that, yeah, you know, 4 or 5 minutes in Skull.
AA only had to make one trip up Death Mountain, having gone to Zora before.
Oh yeah, that was. We had to point out a mistake for TGH. That would be it, yeah. Even no, actually, TGH made that mistake twice because he went up at the beginning with no weapon to kill Moldorm, and then he went back down, found his stuff, and escaped, and then later on went up without bombos and went down and found bombos. So that's something to learn. It's like a lot of players nowadays, the V27 meta has become like minimize your trips to Death Mountain, minimize like that overworld backtracking, because that's the competition is so fierce now. You can't throw away like a few minutes here and there just walking around the map.
And there's not even much that AA can run into here that would help him out at this point. Like the gold sword is the biggest one. He's already got the silvers. They've had those for a long time. Those were in the mini Moldorm cave at the start. And now TGH has to go and check that powder. Except he's gonna go into pod here. I'm surprised he did Easter before pod. That's interesting.
Hey, making very quick work of Desert Palace here with Temper Sword, Red Mail, Mirror Shield, and Boots. Like, there's not a single enemy around here that can even pose a threat to him. He could go AFK from his keyboard in one of these rooms for like a minute and not die.
Man, so what are we supposed to talk about for the next, 5 to 10 minutes?
I mean, talk about their impressive execution. We could talk about the future. We could talk about how many Ganon falls AA is behind. It seems to be a popular topic amongst the memers. But AA would definitely have to fall about 10 times on Ganon at this point. It's he's Turtle Rock and
maybe
dungeon.
TGH could gamble the tile room in GT. I don't know if he's ever done that in his life, but if there's a time to do it, this would be it.
I think AA could soft lock with the torches at the top of GT, after not getting the tile. Like, it could be tile room, and then AA could soft lock, and then he could fall on Moldorm 3 times, and then die to Aga 2, and then do the tower again, and then kill Ganondorf, and he would still be fine.
Okay, here's a question. Here's a question. Do we think that TGH is going to find the boots before AA finishes?
Yes. Because after pod, he's 100% of the game. He, like, AA was still missing like Spike Cave and Skullwoods and stuff like that, but TGH is actually 100% of the game. So he knows if it's not here, it's on Trinix or on the pedestal. Like he's gotten every single other chest in the game. Like A8 in, he's missing 2 in Swamp, 2 in Skull, maybe 1 or 2 in the overworld.
Yeah, so well, he does just have to. He'll definitely be in GT when TGH finds these though.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like having all the big keys already. Like. So like.
Oh,
TGH might hammer
TGH?
jump here, but
why are you doing that? There's no reason to do that.
Yeah, this section is completely bow locked. Maybe he thinks it could potentially be a soft lock seed.
Is he?
So he's like,
oh.
If he finds the boots back there, he could just be like, oh, this was a soft lock seed, so you know, rematch. But we know the boots are not there.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for him.
Cold sword. There it is.
I mean, they're in the same dungeon, but one of these guys has the bow and one of them does not.
Man, this bracket is just brutal. I mean, I know that it's just considering the people who have lost in the first round already. We've had Andy lose. Everyone knows Andy, one of the best execution runners and hovering everywhere, right? Elmagus has been fantastic the last few months in this game, and I think he might have outplayed Ben just a little bit in those races, but he lost 2-0, you know, against Agent. And you know, that's nothing, not slighting Ben in the slightest, since he did win the tournament.
Defending champion.
Yeah, he did win the tournament last year, but I think that Elmagus was right up there with anyone with as good of a chance to win this tournament. And it looks like TGH is going out in the first round here too. So that's a lot of carnage here just quickly in this tournament. This bracket is just brutal.
Yeah, like I have my gripes with the most current logics, but one thing I will say is that the game definitely feels way more randomized compared to the last tournament. So there's definitely, you know, the last tournament, if you look at just the top 8 even, like 5 to 6 of them you could say are like some of the top execution runners in the Link to the Past. But, you know, now that the items are a little bit more randomized, you have to understand the logic a little bit better. You have to be able to account for different situations with different sets of items, and you know, that gives some of the players that may be a little bit more mental, you know, a little better edge in this version. So I definitely appreciate the logic for that, like, because you get to think more about the seed, even if I always wind up 100%ing the logics because the seeds hate me, but that's a different story.
I love when people say that the game hates them and that, you know, that they're it's specifically out to get them.
Oh, it's 100% out to get. Well, not the game. The game is not out to get me. Swamp Palace is out to get me. Okay. When I go to Swamp, there's nothing there. When I skip left side Swamp, there's always something there. When, you know, Swamp Palace has determined so many tournament matches, even just this tournament. Like it's pretty crazy, like how impactful Swamp Palace can be, because it's such a time-consuming dungeon. So it's one of those dungeons that you have to be able to understand the logic and just like know like when you should go in and when you shouldn't. And yeah, I definitely, the daily yesterday had Fire Rod in Swamp Palace. That was the last place I went. And then the daily today had the item somewhere else, and I did Swamp Palace right away and found six junk items. So, you know, Swamp Palace giveth and Swamp Palace taketh away. But I mean, this bracket is looking so stacked right now. For the round of 8, we have Gem versus the winner of this, which is almost assuredly going to be AmazingAmpharos, like barring a soft lock of his game or something, and him not having a recent save.
Oh, we got to do the thing here. Does someone have access to? Is the bot working? I don't even know if the bot works because
I definitely don't have access.
Yeah,
but if we have a moderator around, that can, yep.
Oh, there. Hey, it worked when I did it. I don't know how to stop it though.
It might just be exclamation point stop. I'm not sure, but for those of you that don't understand why the chat is going crazy right now, AmazingAmpharos is on his way to Ganon's Tower. In Ganon's Tower, there are 22 possible locations for the big key. So if you can guess the Ganon's Tower big key location, you get admiration from the bot. You also have to be the first person to guess. So I think all 22 numbers have probably been guessed at this point. But if you are a subscriber of any of the Speed Gaming channels or have donated 250 bits across any of the Speed Gaming channels, you are automatically eligible to be on the leaderboards for the guessing game. So, you know, place your guesses. You can place your guess even if you're not a sub. Maybe you'll just feel good about yourself. Like, yeah, I knew where it was. But again, we're going to go by the order in which AmazingAmpharos checks it, regardless of what TGH does, because AmazingAmpharos will be the first person into Ganon's Tower. And take your guesses.
Maybe he'll just decide to check Spike Cube right here. Gotta get that out of the way.
I think at this point it might actually be beneficial to AmazingAmpharos to just go die somewhere, because then he'll save and continue, and then even if he softlocks, there's no way he can lose. Because, you know, sometimes you see that, like, quadrant glitch where people, like, poke spin Moldorm and it, like, despawns everything. But even then, you could still save and quit. Or just mirror. Like, he has to legit, like, accidentally EG or something to, like, lose the race. But that's the torch right there is item number 1. It is not the big key. So if you guess 1, unfortunately for you, you are wrong today. You might have to stop it at this point.
A is going to do it. Oh, sorry.
So TGH has gotten his boots. He is finally in go mode. 2 and 3 are nothing. And neither is 4 or 5.
Yeah,
so
when he was going left, I knew immediately that he was going to do an alternate route. He's probably going to do full right side, is my guess. The reason why I knew he's doing this because he hates the right side. So he had to be planning on going this way if he's going left side first.
I think TGH has adapted recently, like if there's a key on the right, I'm going right. So A is probably just covering his bases. He's like, I don't want to lose because the key's over there and I don't go over there. Because that's one of the few like matchup specific things you can apply if you study your opponents, like what's their normal Ganon's Tower routing and like what should I do if I'm feeling ahead or behind or whatever the case may be.
All right, so far we've had 7 checks.
Yes. So we're gonna have 8 through 12 here in just a second.
Let's say 8 through 11.
Oh, sorry, I'm bad at math.
Yeah.
I was counting the tower room.
That's why I'm here. He did check the tower room. He made sure it was still there.
He's gonna pick up his key here.
Yeah, is he gonna keep going though? I think he's gonna keep
He hasn't menued yet, so I think he is. Yeah. The winner of this will be fighting Gem, who defeated Andy 2-0.
Notably, Gem won the entrance randomizer tournament, and AA was, you know, one of the final competitors in that as well. So
notably, Gem started my downward spiral in groups by being my first loss. So screw you, Gem. I hope you lose. No, I'm just kidding, Gem. I love you. But
what is TGH doing?
He didn't realize he got
yeah. He's out of it, man. He's just... Oh, wow. What a magic drop for AA right there.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's usually, like, the biggest drawback to going full right is you're, like, spending magic on fire rod shots and stuff, and you're not getting your magic back. And getting a full magic there is nice, especially if you find the big key.
Yeah, I hate not having a half magic if I'm going to do the full right side. Or no invincibility item.
You gotta get that Scudge tech that Giselle always shows off when she goes right. Where it's like the double hook shot, and you just skip everything with no magic wasted.
I'm not really interested in practicing techs for hours on end. I'd rather just play games.
It's actually incredibly easy. I'll send you a video so you'll see it. It's super free. It takes like 2 seconds to learn how to do. I got your back, Jay. But so nothing so far behind Ice Armos. So that was 12, 13, 14, 15. So
no. Wait.
yeah,
8,
Bob
9,
was 12.
10, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12. Oh, yeah, 12. Yeah, okay. I was forgetting about Bob. I was like, what about Bob?
I counted them. I can't be bad at math if I'm not doing math. That's it. So we got 16 right here. Just a small key. And then on the other side of that round of 8 is Cransoon versus Gerdo, which I don't think anybody expected to see Cransoon in the top 8, but I'm glad because he's a close friend of mine. Any thoughts on that match?
Yeah, Cransoon is one of the bigger dark horses of the whole bracket, I would say.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I think everyone respects Gerdo as a good player of this randomizer. Like, ever since the moment he started playing randomizer, it seemed like he was at the top of the races.
Yeah, and he definitely likes playing a lot of Link to the Past, because I saw him in the regular Link to the Past Discord. Like, he's grinding his NMG PB. I think he got it down to like a 127 or something. So
yeah, it's pretty.
There it is. The big key was in chest 18. No, because that was 21 and 20. It was 19. I apologize. 19.
19. So what's the command for
exclamation point winner 19? Space 19.
Right.
I think it's that.
Does that work? Nope. I don't know. Come on. How does no one hear it? Oh, okay. There you go, Raspberry Food.
We need more regulars around here.
Yeah. I've never had to do it before. I just, I could look them up. I search for the guessing game on Discord or whatever. But oh, yeah.
AA is gonna start his Ganon's Tower Ascent with a nice gauntlet here. He should be fine. Red mail, 16 hearts, silvers, temper. I don't see AA having any issues here. But on the other side of the bracket, we have rematch of last tournament's grand finals with Christos and Ajnab. That's going to be a great set. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, that has to be the one that is going to get the most hype for the next round, I would think, right now.
Christos has been on a tear.
Yeah,
since he got back from the US, he has been just straight dominating. He was like, I took my nice little break. I'm partnered now. Gotta impress the fans.
Just had like a 106 or something. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, and then Ajnab hasn't lost a race in like, I think he lost his first race in groups and then hasn't lost since. So might have been his first 2. Or was that, no, that was in Swiss, not even in groups. He lost in Swiss. He didn't drop a game in groups. And yeah, 2-0'd his previous opponent of Almagus. And then the last match is going to be Keong versus JSR2 Gamers, where Keong has secretly been on a tear. He 4-0'd his groups. I think he went 5-1 in Swiss or 4-2, something like that. He's been doing. He's
really strong. I think I remember like the very first round of Swiss, I think, was Keon versus ACMLM, and that was a really close race that he could have won. And people have been saying to watch out for him the whole time. Yeah, JSR is I consider him a friend. He's got a sub 30 in Zelda 1, and he's kind of amazed that he's made it this far and that it keeps going. So if you asked him that, like, does he expect to get through here, through this round, I don't think he'd say he even expected to get this far to begin with. So
I always love JSR, the same category as you. You guys are the multi-talented Zelda gamers. You guys play all the Zeldas. Well, use your cane, eh? You could just cane and then pat. Fine. Do it your way. Do it your way, gosh. That's the only other use for the Samaria mushroom glitch, by the way, guys, is that you can, if you have no magic, you can still powder those fairies by just using the Samaria block beforehand. Because it works with the mushroom or the powder. So, in case you didn't know.
Oh, AA also plays the other Zelda randomizers as well, and is really good at them.
Nice, yeah. So you guys are the multi-talented runners.
Oh my goodness, that was a huge bounce off of that bumper. What is he doing? Get out of this room, buddy.
Well, I mean, AA probably doesn't know how far ahead he is. His heart is probably pounding right now, because when you get to GT, when you get to Act 2 and nobody's done, you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, please don't snipe me, I'm so close, I'm so close. So I'm sure he's feeling the pressure right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he says something along those lines too. Oh, this is awful pattern. I don't like it. Nice.
Get used to
it. That. Yeah. Alright, good improv there. Getting up to the top. Yeah, nice. Take care of that, dude.
Very quick Act 2 there.
Now all you have to do is not fall 30 times and you're good.
TGH picking up his 7th crystal. So he should be in GT when AA Tatans. So for those of you that may have missed the race and don't know what happened, AA did Ice Palace and the Zora area before checking Turtle Rock medallion. So he had the medallion to go in right away. TGH had to climb Death Mountain 3 times, once to check the medallion, once to full clear Turtle Rock, and then once to kill Trinex once he found the Ice Rod later on. Whereas AA only made 2 trips up there.
Damn.
And that
all they had to do was, they got the shovel from Zora the same time they got that bombos.
The bombos, yeah.
Yeah, all the ingredients were right there. All you had to do was check that shovel before you headed up Death Mountain, and you make 1 trip up Death Mountain for those boots.
AA playing it really safe. I respect that. You don't want to take any chances at this point. If you lose by 5 seconds because you menued, like, that's better than losing because you died. And then
I think he's still got a fairy and a blue potion too, so he's
I think he's more than safe.
Yeah.
So unless he hits a fall, we should see a dot done any second here. And with that last arrow in Ganon, we have it. As TGH steps into Ganon's tower, AmazingAmpharos is done with Ganon.
Official SRL time of 1 hour 43 minutes and 20 seconds.
GG. So we're gonna see TGH work his way through GT at the moment. It looks like he's also doing a Dark Magician route. We'll see if he mirrors back or not, because the key is in the randomizer room. We'll also see if AA wants to talk about this adventure that he just went on.
Again, something that happens for AA here is that he can only get into a Discord chat once he shuts down his stream. So, if we want to watch the credits, then we got to do that first. Oh, TGH is just going full right, or full left, I mean, which is going to work out well for him, of course. It's interesting. Unless he's just going to the randomizer room and do it. Of course, that would work out just fine too.
Man, that was a race. Holy. It seemed like A had it in the bag like the whole time, and then like everything he started checking like just wasn't panning out, and it looked like
there were some
really
outs that were opening up for TGH over and over again, for sure.
it was really anyone's game at that point. Yeah, TG is just decimating Ganon Tower right now.
Yeah, TGH went he went undefeated in groups, maybe, or in Swiss, I mean, or
He went 5-1, but
5-1 in Swiss,
yeah,
and then
he only lost the last game, which is since there were no seeds going into groups. Like it was
no, there
like
was some aspect of seeding. Because
you're right. Actually,
they put the 6 and 0s with the 3 and 3s, but they were like randomly shuffled amongst them. So you know, it was best for you definitely to have a 6 and 0 record going in. But not that necessarily worked out for the 6 and 0s anyway.
yeah.
But then he got into that 3-way race off for first and second, I think.
Yeah. He got second to Christos in that one, which eliminated Kyle LPN. And he went 3-1 in that group and still had to do a 3-way tie. That group was intense.
Yeah. There were some good groups out there too, for sure. That was definitely one of them.
So this would be, of his 5-10 races, this is his 11th race. It's his 3rd loss. So 8-3 record on the tournament for him.
Well, unless it's hard to say whether you consider that tiebreaker a loss or not.
I don't, because you make it to the next round.
No, AA wasn't in the match with, or yeah, he was in the group with it. Yes. Sorry, I misread that. He was in the group, but he was 3-1, and the tiebreaker was 2-2 people. No idea why TGH is opening that chest.
I swear that room is just like NMG muscle memory. Just hover for the fans here.
Yeah, he did it.
I gotta type out my
What is going on?
Oh, whenever you hover, that bumper glitches out.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I've never noticed that. I've seen people hover before. I've never heard that. I was like waiting to hear, or waiting to see a Helmasaur trapped against a bumper or something, but there was nothing there. Oh wow!
I think that's
nicely
2-2.
handled. I mean, oh, I was gonna say he's basically done the best he possibly could with those shots because he's hitting them all that cannon.
Nice, 2-2-0-2.
Yeah. Or egging him. Spoilers. The cheater alarm, I like it. 158 of 216. That's I'd say that's a little above average, but when you're completing all of Mire and Turtle Rock and everything looking for the boots, then it seems a little low. Yeah, AA wasted a lot of time in GT because he took a suboptimal route looking for the big key. If this were a closer race, then he certainly might have lost it there. Even disregarding TGH's execution edge.
So I think if this was like a weekly race, Jay, you would have beat us all by like 30 minutes because you called T-Rock. Because they essentially were just missing boots like before they did Swamp, before they did Ice, before they did any of that. But they needed to go to Zora to get Bombos and a shovel so that they could get their boots.
The shovel for the ice rod, that's something, I don't know. Man. I think I would have full cleared the game too. But...
Alright, with that last arrow into Ganon, TGH finishes with an official SRL time of 1:51.12. Being just shy of 8 minutes behind 8 AA.
Really tightened it up at the end, but you know.
GG's to both our runners.
I don't know, man. I might have. I think I would have. Oh. Thank you for meeting.
Oh, they're both in the.
That's
I'm gonna drag them both in from the waiting room.
I'm here.
Oh.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
GG's, guys. Congrats, AA.
Thank you. I honestly can't believe I won.
That scene must have been a roller coaster of emotion for you guys. How are you guys feeling?
Yo, AA
I was expecting a dot done, unsure of where the boots were starting at an hour 10.
GG's, guys. Oh, one of you has to mute your stream. I just heard myself. I think it might be Tej. Are we good? Hello?
Well, my stream's not running, so...
Yeah. TGH, you there?
Yep.
Okay, I think we got it all straightened out now. Good. Alright, so what were you saying? Sorry.
I think Tej was saying...
I wasn't saying anything. I didn't say anything.
I think AA was saying something. That's what I mean. Yeah. Well, we can just tell you the differences in this race. So, TGH went up to Hera before he had a weapon, and AA did escape first and got that hammer. So he only had to make one trip to the Hera area there. And then AA did Zora before going up to Dark Death Mountain, and had Bombos before going to Turtle Rock, so he had to so TGH made 3 trips up to Turtle Rock area, whereas AA only made 2. And AA skipped Skullwoods and Spike Cave, and TGH found the boots in basically the last possible spot.
And left side swamp.
Yeah, TGH did the left side swamp too, and AA skipped it and never went back, so I'm sure it's that can only make TGH a little saltier, but you know, it's rando, so what you gonna do, right?
Yeah, it feels pretty awful, honestly, that I think if I had just had the ice rod the first time going up to Turtle Rock, like if those boots were anywhere but Trinex and Turtle Rock, I would have finished about 15 minutes sooner. That hurts a lot.
Yeah, like, I made the play on Turtle Rock, what I thought was pretty crazy early. I had Turtle Rock on my mind as soon as I found the mitts out of Thieves, but I didn't cash in the shovel either, and I did a lot of stuff in between, but I wasn't willing to, like, go to Skullwoods or do certain other things I viewed as easy, because I knew if the boots were in those places that I'd already lost.
Yeah, Jay kind of assumed like that's why you were putting off Skull. He was like, if the boots are in Skull, he knows he lost already, so there's no point in going to check that. And TGH did do Skullwoods like immediately upon entering Dark World, so
he did get half magic from Mothula, so that was kind of nice to have, but obviously not a game changer.
Yeah, AA was pretty much ahead on the checks because of the little having to go up to Terra twice. So you were like about a minute and a half ahead on like Thieves Town, a minute and a half ahead on Swamp, a minute and a half ahead on Ice. But once TGH caught up on the crystals and you still hadn't found the boots, it became like a little bit of a coin flip, like who's gonna go where to see what happens.
Yeah, because TGH full cleared Mire, and really that was his last shot, the green pendant, because that took him to Pod and Eastern, which AA had just cleared out to determine that boots weren't there. Yeah, once the green pendant was just 10 arrows, then that was game over right there, because if it was either Trinex or the pedestal, then AA had way too much of an advantage with the stuff that he had cleared versus what TGH had left.
Would I have really have had an advantage with the pedestal?
You definitely would have.
Teach had the other two pendants on you, but he was on his way to Pod Eastern as you were on your way to Trinex. So you would have killed Trinex, realize it's not there, realize it has to be green pendant or pedestal if you're going to be adamant about not going back on your checks. And then, you would have turned in your green pendant and then did Skullwoods, mirrored, check pedestal, and then you would have been done. He would have had to do Pod, then do Eastern, then go find the Ice Rod, then go up, do Trinex, and then go to the pedestal.
Would you believe my map check was so fast I wasn't entirely convinced of which dungeon was green pendant, and I thought Trinex might be it?
I believe it. I definitely didn't catch your map check. I was like, did anybody see that? Because I didn't see that.
Yeah. We gotta make this quick though, guys, because there's something that's coming up right on the schedule right after us. So, if you guys have any final thoughts, it's been a great tournament for both of you so far. TGH, unfortunately, it's over, but it's certainly not the case that you deserve to lose or anything, but someone has to, and AA is going to continue on and face Gem in the next round, which is pretty exciting. The entrance randomizer tournament winner. So, any thoughts from either of you before we move on to the next event?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I feel pretty lucky to have made it past TGH. Like, Game 2 definitely broke my way in terms of luck more than anything. And this game, I feel like I made some good decisions on hard gambles, but I mean, for how much more he obviously checked.